Hey everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and by the time this video is uploaded, it will be 1 year until the release of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. The reason why I'm posting this video a year in advance is because one of the things that I like to do when a new comic book movie is coming out is I like to talk about some stories that people could read before seeing the movie. And I figured usually whenever I did this, it was like a week until the movie came out, and then I kind of thought to myself, you know, that might not be enough time for people to read the book since everyone has their own thing going on. So I figured, why not post this video a year early and just give everyone a little more time so that they can track some of these stories down and read them. So let's get started. The first book on my list is Superman, Man of Steel Volume 1. Okay, the reason this is on the list, even though it's a Superman title, is that this collects the Man of Steel 1986 miniseries, which was pretty much a rebooted version of all the Superman elements following Crisis on Infinite Earths, written by John Byrne. Yeah, I'm saying that name right. Anyways, issue 3 is when Superman is the post-crisis retelling of how Superman first meets Batman, and prior to Crisis on Infinite Earths, they were pretty much best friends instantly. But in this case, it didn't start off so well. When Superman comes to Gotham, he meets Batman and almost takes him into the police. But then Batman points out that he's wearing a force field that if Superman penetrates, it'll set off a bomb, killing someone in Gotham instantly. And eventually, though, Superman's disgusted by this, so he and Batman agree to work together and stop this crime boss called Magpie, who it turns out is just real crazy. And at the end, when Superman confronts Batman about his bomb, Batman says, "Oh yeah, I had the bomb on me the whole time," meaning the life that Superman would have killed would have been Batman's. So at the end, they kind of have this sort of begrudging respect for one another. They don't like their methods, but they do think they share a common goal. And at the end of the issue, Batman reflects on this for himself, and he thinks, you know, perhaps in another reality, I would have called him friend. I mean, so yeah, that's definitely, obviously the title, Batman v Superman, indicates that Superman and Batman are definitely going to be at odds with each other, which makes sense because Superman, he's an alien who gets his powers from the sun, who lost his birth parents but was raised by a loving couple. Batman lost his parents to crime and pretty much gets most of his strength by hiding in the darkness and scaring criminals. So really you can't see how initially post-crisis everyone at DC kind of went, okay, you know what, let's kind of make these guys at odds at first. However, even though the the Superman-Batman relationship had a very rocky start, eventually things kind of smoothed out. Particularly in this story, Superman Dark Knight over Metropolis. Now, the collection of this includes not just this 3-issue story arc that took place in the pages of Superman, but also includes an annual from Action Comics, which had a team-up of Batman and Superman prior to the events of Dark Knight and Metropolis, as well as a couple of other issues that sort of set up the events of Dark Knight over Metropolis. But basically, Batman investigates a deceased body in Gotham City that had a kryptonite ring on it, and Batman senses that this has something to do with Superman, so he investigates. And interesting enough, the hobo got the kryptonite ring from a dead woman who was actually the scientist who, way back in, I believe, at the start of the second volume of Superman, when Lex Luthor had a machine to figure out Superman's identity and said that he was Clark Kent, the head scientist was the dead woman who stole Luthor's ring and eventually led to the whole events. I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't know why I'm explaining it. It's all in the book. Anyways, the significance of the story isn't just that Batman and Superman kind of team up, but this is also the story arc where they learn each other's secret identities, not by choice. They figure it out themselves. Batman, he learns about it through the dead scientist's notes, and Superman figures it out himself when he goes to see Batman at the end of the story arc to give him the kryptonite ring. Because this was the story where Superman kind of realized, you know, even though we may not get along, I don't have that many friends out there, and if any of my enemies were ever to get full control of me and I did something really wrong, I would want someone who'd be able to stop me to be able to do it, and he feels like he could give the kryptonite ring to Batman because he can trust him. this was great because even though again, Batman and Superman, their friendship isn't really all a full-on bromance. It's really more or less a grudgingly respect for one another, which eventually does become complete trust, which begins in this issue when Superman gives him the ring. Even though all the books I just described took place in Superman comics, Batman still has his own stories that are going into this movie. Particularly one series that is very popular amongst Batman fans. Batman: The Dark Knight Returns. A lot of elements of this book are going into the Batman Superman movie. First of all, the idea that Bruce Wayne is apparently going to be has apparently retired from crime fighting for a while, but now he's getting back in the game because of Superman's appearance. That's also how Dark Knight Returns starts out, except Bruce is much older, like in his late 60s. In this case, Ben Affleck, he's like, I don't know, how old is Ben Affleck? I want to say like early, mid-50s. I want to say like maybe, I don't know, late 40s, early 50s. Someone correct me about that. Also, the pictures of Batfleck's bat suit, as well as the teaser from Comic-Con, showed him in the bat armor, which was also used in the comic, in the climactic fight between Batman and Superman towards the end of this story. Which again, hence the title Batman v Superman. So obviously we're going to get a fight scene, which might take a lot from this story. And also, this is just a theory of mine, but in The Dark Knight Returns, when Batman about halfway through the story, when the media starts to pay more attention to Batman's return, after Batman defeats the mutant leader, Joker is in Arkham Asylum, and he has not moved or done anything for like the past 20 years. He's been like in this sort of comatose vegetative state, but then he hears news about Batman on TV, and then suddenly he starts to move again, and that's when all the cogs in the mind start going, and Joker comes back. I think Batman's sort of reappearance in Dawn of Justice is going to lead to the Joker coming back into action as well, and that's going to be the reason why he's involved in the Suicide Squad movie, obviously. but yeah, a lot of elements of The Dark Knight Returns, and not just in this movie, but also Batman the Animated Series, a number of Christopher Nolan's Bat trilogy. They've all taken a lot from this story, and and like I said, a lot of Batman fans do enjoy it. I enjoyed it too. I really enjoyed it too, and I think that anyone who loves Batman should definitely at least read this book once. A lot of the Superman Batman team-ups, crossovers I've mentioned have all taken place in each hero's sort of respective series, but this next story takes place in a book that's actually shared by the two. Superman Batman Volume 1 Public Enemies. The reason I put this one on the list is because in the comic, Superman Batman team up when Superman is accused of murder by President Lex Luthor, and also there's a giant kryptonite meteor head towards Earth. So now Superman Batman decides to help Superman clear his name and also stop the meteor. Okay, I don't think the meteor is going to play that big a role in Dawn of Justice, but taking down Luthor might, because even though we haven't really gotten an official synopsis, there are some photos that have leaked online, some featuring protesters against Superman saying, like, we don't want an alien protecting us, go home, stuff like that. And I think that's going to be what Luthor uses to help, to help get his public recognition or something, or some sort of power, or Luthor will be in a position of high power. And he's done a lot of terrible things, but Superman and Batman decides to help Superman take Luthor down once and for all, so that kind of has similar frame. So when I thought of it like that, I immediately thought of this story where Superman and Batman are going after Lex Luthor again, except this time they're trying to get him out the office of President of the United States, which does happen at the end of the story. So really, this was a great story because, again, like I said, it's a team up between the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight, and they're going after Luthor. So even though I don't think the movie is going to be using a lot from this particular story, it's still a fun, great crossover read between the two most popular heroes of the DCU. Okay, so those are all the stories I can recommend for people who are going to see Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. What do you guys think? Did I leave anything thing out. What should I have added? Did you like these choices? Let me know in the comments below. And do you think I'm doing this video too early? I mean, is a year too far to plan ahead? I mean, come on, we haven't even gotten an official trailer for this movie yet. But anyways, thank you again for watching, and thank you for subscribing to my channel. I'm Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.